Hello everybody, this is the second lesson within unit number 4, feelings and emotions. And in this lesson, we're going to deal with in the second lesson, we have think, pair, share. Think, pair, share is a rubric of writing. The skill of writing is a skill that most learners find a little bit difficult. But if you are well prepared, okay, if you revise the lessons, if you are self-confident, I am sure you're going to write a good, coherent and easy paragraph, okay? Let's follow the steps. So, the instruction says, you received a letter from your friend Hisham, who is worried and anxious about the back exam. Reply to Hisham with a letter in which you reassure him and give him advice to conquer his fear and stress. So this is the instruction. We should always read the instruction many times to know what is required, what is asked of us to do. So here I have the instruction. I have the negative feelings highlighted in red. We have worried, anxious. He's feeling fear and stress. What is asked of me to do is to reassure him and to give him advice. Okay? Do I write a paragraph? No. What is asked of me is to write a letter. What is asked of me is to write a letter. In this letter, I should reassure and give him advice. So this way, I will not be out of topic. Okay? Excellent. Very good. Move on. Form versus content. In written expression, form and content are very important. Okay? It is essential to understand that when writing a letter, a speech, or a paragraph, form is very important to consider, because in official exams, form has its own mark. Okay? If I am asked to write a letter, I should not write a speech, and I should not write a paragraph. Okay? So we need to differentiate between these three types. Very good. In this lesson, we are going to write an informal letter to a friend. If you remember, we have formal letters and informal letters. Informal letters are between friends, between family, between people that you know very well. However, formal letters are with people which you respect. For example, the director, a head of a company, a letter to ask for a job, etc. In here, I am writing to my friend Hisham, so I use the informal layout. All right? Very good. Just to remember, to refresh our memory, the layout of the letter, the informal letter, it starts with a date, the address of the sender, so he might reply to you, salutation or the greeting, you write dear and the first name of your friend. And then you have the body of your letter here. So it depends on the topic, okay? And then the salutation or the greeting, you write here, yours truly or yours faithfully. And finally, you sign your name. In English, when we sign the letter, we use our names. If it is a formal letter, it's family name and first name. If it is informal, we use our first name. Okay? Now we are done with the content. With the form. We move to the content. So to sum up, our friend Hisham is afraid, stressed, anxious and worried about the back exam, especially during this time when the world is facing the coronavirus pandemic. So a lot of students, like you, this time they are feeling maybe like Hisham. They are stressed, they are worried about their future. And you are right, you are correct. But do not worry, this pandemic, inshallah, it will go out. And we are here to help you, we are here to assist you, so you should not feel worried okay? So our job, in replying in this letter, so it is your duty to lift up his spirit, to encourage and reassure him in this difficult time through some pieces of advice. So we're going to give advice to Hisham in order to lift up his spirit and to encourage him. Okay? So our letter, our paragraph or our speech should be well planned. So our ideas should be coherent. Okay? We should start with the introduction, body, conclusion, etc. As we are doing throughout all these 3 years. First of all, we should thank Hisham for writing to you. Hisham has chosen you among many friends with this letter. This means he trusts you. Okay? So you should thank him for his trust and thank him for writing to you. Number 2, you should always express sympathy. Hisham is writing a letter to you. He is not expecting judgment. Do not say you are wrong. You should not feel like this. No, you should express sympathy. Say it's okay. You are all feeling like this, etc. Okay. Number 3, analyze the problem. Explain to Hisham why he is feeling this way. Okay. And finally, you give advice. We have learned structures to give advice throughout the years. Do you remember them? You should. You had better. You should. You ought to. If I were you, I would do this. I wouldn't do that, etc. Clear? So I want to pause the video here. We had an idea about the form, the letter. We had an idea about the content. What should we write? Now it's up to you to write a letter replying to Hisham throughout what you studied and the ideas we've seen here today. It should take you around 20 to 30 minutes to complete this letter. Okay? You should not take your time because in official exams we don't have a limited time. Okay? You should learn to train to write a paragraph or a letter in a short amount of time. Okay? So take 20 to 30 minutes and then continue to see a sample correction. Okay? Now let's correct. This is an example of an informal letter to Hisham. So we start with the date, an address. Dear Hisham, thank you for writing to me about your problem. Many of us are feeling the same way. We have been working hard all year long and anticipating this very important exam for our future. However, our safety and that of our families and friends comes first. Schools had to be shut down. Here we are analyzing the problem. Schools had to be shut down in order to avoid contamination and to slow the spread of this pandemic. If you are feeling anxious and stressed, it is because you are serious about your future and you want to succeed in your studies. My advice to you is that you should invest this precious free time in revising your lessons. You had better spend some time with your family members because I am sure in a few months they will miss you. I'm sure they are going to miss you when you go to university in a few months. If I were you, I would practice some sports to stay in a good shape and to reduce the stress. Also, why don't you pick up a hobby, like reading or painting? To conclude my letter to you, try to think positively about the situation, and I am sure it will be resolved soon, providing that everyone is safe, schools will be reopened, and you will meet again shortly, my dear friends. Yours truly, and you sign your name. Okay? So, when you take time with your letter, when you prepare well, when you organize your ideas, your letter or your paragraph or your speech will come out easy, will come out natural. You don't have to copy the text. You don't have to use external ideas. Just brainstorm first, organize your ideas, use a rough paper, and your paragraph or your letter should turn out perfect. Right? Okay, so I have highlighted the structures of giving advice in red. They are, if I were you, I would. Why don't you? And before that, we have you had better, and you should, and we have also you ought to. So we use these structures when we are giving advice. Okay? So we have reached the end of this lesson. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you.